Welcome to the Explainer. So, you book a flight, right? You think you're just buying a seat. But what if I told you that's not really what you're buying at all? Today, we're going to peel back the curtain on the airline industry, and trust me, what's really going on is way more interesting than you'd think. I mean, it's a pretty common way to think about it, right? It seems so obvious. You need to get from A to B, and they give you a seat for the ride. But as we're about to see, that simple idea, well, it's not the whole story. Not even close. So here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll talk about why it's not just about seats. Then we'll dive into the price fighters, the network builders, and the hidden connectors. After that, we'll look at the time sellers and finish up with the big takeaway. All right, let's get right into it. The main thing you've got to wrap your head around is this. That airline seat, it's really just the box. What's inside the box is a totally different product depending on who you fly with. And this is so important because, once you get this logic, your whole perspective on the industry changes. You stop seeing a plane as just a bus with wings and start seeing it for what it is, a really complex, high-stakes business strategy flying at 30,000 feet. Okay, first up, the price fighters. These are the guys who totally changed the game. Think low-cost and ultra-low-cost carriers. Their mission is super, super simple. Get you from here to there for the absolute rock-bottom price. Period. And their playbook? It is brutally efficient. What they're selling you is one thing, and one thing only: transportation. That's it. Want to bring a carry-on? That'll cost you. Want to pick your own seat? That's extra. Thirsty? You're going to pay for that drink. Their whole model is about keeping those planes flying with super quick turnarounds, running simple point-to-point routes, and making their profit on sheer volume. And of course, all those little fees. And this is where it gets really interesting. You see that amazing $49 fare, right? But then you start adding the stuff you thought was just part of flying. A bag, a seat you actually want to sit in, and suddenly your $49 ticket is almost $200. This is what they call unbundling, stripping everything out and selling it back to you piece by piece. It's the absolute heart of their business model. All right, let's switch gears completely and talk about the network builders. Now we're talking about the big legacy carriers, the household names. And believe me, they are selling something way, way bigger than just a flight from one city to another. And you can see the difference right here. A low-cost carrier is like a single train line. It goes straight from A to B. Simple. But a network builder? That's like an entire subway system. They fly you from a small town into their giant hub airport. And from there, you can connect to practically anywhere on the planet. They're not just selling you a ride, they're selling you access to their entire global web. Yeah, for these guys, your ticket price is just one slice of the pie. They're making a ton of money from shipping cargo in the belly of the plane right under your feet. They've got different cabin classes: economy, business, first. And here's the kicker: their frequent flyer programs. These things are absolute money printing machines. Seriously. They sell miles to credit card companies for billions. And sometimes they make more money from those loyalty programs than they do from actually flying people around. Wild, right? Okay, so now let's talk about the airlines you've almost certainly flown on, but you probably have no idea you have. These are the hidden connectors, the secret ingredient that makes those huge networks actually work. So here's the scenario. You go online and book a ticket from, let's say, Des Moines to Tokyo on one of the big airlines. But when you get to the airport for that first flight to Chicago, you notice you're boarding a smaller plane, and the logo on the tail is different. That's a regional airline. They work like contractors, feeding you from your smaller city into that massive hub so you can catch your long-haul flight. And this is the key thing to understand about them. Their customer isn't really you. It's the big airline they're flying for. They're a B2B business, business to business, and they are absolutely critical for making the whole network builder strategy work. Without them, those legacy carriers just couldn't reach all those smaller towns. And finally, let's look at a totally different beast. We're entering a niche world now, a type of airline built for a very specific customer. A customer who isn't really worried about the price tag, but for whom every single minute counts. Here, the whole playbook is flipped upside down. Forget cramming people in. These airlines take a plane that could easily fit, say, 180 people and reconfigure it for maybe 40. We're talking all lie-flat beds, premium service, the works. It is 100% quality over quantity. So what are their customers actually buying? It's not just a flight. It's productivity. It's convenience. It's the ability to arrive at a meeting across the ocean feeling rested and ready to go. The flight schedule is way more important than the price. Now, this can be incredibly profitable per passenger, but you can imagine it also makes them super vulnerable. When the economy tanks and business travel dries up, they feel it hard. Okay, so we've gone through all these different models. Let's boil it all down. What's the simple takeaway here? If we look at the main types, we're really talking about three completely different products being sold. First up, you've got the low-cost airlines. What are they selling? Cheap mobility. Simple as that. Their entire product is just getting you from point A to point B for as little cash as possible. Then you have the legacy airlines. What's their product? They're selling the network. They sell you access to pretty much anywhere in the world, all through their massive interconnected system. And finally, those premium airlines. What do they sell? They sell time. Their product is pure convenience, pure efficiency. They are literally selling back to their passengers the one resource you can't make more of. So the next time you're settling into your seat, just think for a second, what did I actually just buy? Am I paying for cheap mobility, for global access, or am I buying back my own time? Because once you understand that, you start to see the powerful and often invisible business logic that's flying right along with you.